Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And this could be one of my funnest hours of the week. It's where you and I talk, discuss the questions that you have about real estate investing. If this is your first time watching the channel, welcome. If you like what we do here, go ahead and hit subscribe. I'm lucky enough to be in a position where we produce a couple of original pieces of content each and every day. Usually starts about 7:30 in the morning with our financial news. It is something I've done for 20 years that I now take notes and share my thoughts with you every day, right around 7:30. Occasionally, usually on Thursdays, we do it a little bit early because I have an expert interview that day that takes precedent because they're busy. But this is the hour where I answer your questions. And again, this hour is for you. It was because of some activities all of you did, hitting those thumbs up on our Friday daily financial news. And you guys hit the goal. So I give you an hour Saturday. If you are watching this for the first time, again, welcome. My name is Michael Zuber, author of One Rental at a Time. I wrote this book as first to feel better, frankly. I was a little depressed actually after leaving work and didn't know what to do. So I took on the challenge of writing our story. As I document in the book, I failed miserably to celebrate wins on our journey. So I felt I had to write it to document the story. It then morphed into a goal of writing a complement to Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think Rich Dad, Poor Dad, as I've said 100 times, changed my life. But it's not a how-to book. It doesn't tell you how they did it, right? They talk about a condo in Oregon and Hawaii, but that was kind of it. So we wrote One Rental at a Time, and I say we as my wife and I, Olivia, to really be that story. Okay, you read it, it changed your life. What'd you do? What worked? What didn't? Oh, by the way, we happened to invest through one of the largest real estate bubbles ever. That was interesting. It's in there. We've seen lending change overnight. So there's a lot in the book. If you want to feel belief and confidence that buy and hold works, go ahead and read the book. You can get it on Amazon or Audible. Next, if you're watching this channel, you know I occasionally talk about an online course I have. It's called How to Get Started, One Rental at a Time. I, again, created that after being asked over and over, how'd you do it? What'd you do? So it's the best thing I've created. It took about a month to put together, about a year ago now. And I'm still wildly happy about it. It's truly helping folks. I've kept the price point low because I can. It's less than $200. More importantly, I've added to it and also give you access to me in a private Facebook group where we talk every Saturday morning at 9. So in about 57 minutes. And now it's getting so large that students are helping students, which from where I sit is wonderful. The students are talking the same language. They're helping each other. It's fun to watch. And again, it's the closest I'm ever going to get to one-on-one mentoring. I won't be one of those people that do $1,000 hour coaching sessions or anything like that. I want to help me of 20 years ago, right? I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't come from a lot. So I'm not going to help the folks that already have money. I want to reach down and help as many people as I can. So that's what I have. I think there's a link below. I know it's in most of the videos. Again, it's called How to Get Started, One Rental at a Time. But do me a favor. Don't buy the course if you're not going to work. Don't just buy it because, hey, thank you for all you do. Here's a token. I don't need it. I don't want it. If you're willing to do the work, hey ho, let's go. Because again, you're going to start work right out step one. And if you're not willing to work, just keep watching YouTube University. I'll be here for you every day. Totally okay. And then lastly, just before we get into questions as I buy time, if you haven't yet written your 5-star review on Amazon or Audible, please do so. It's one of my weekly goals, right? If you see my Sunday sessions, I'd tell you about my weekly goals. And I'm trying to track impact. And one of the impacts I have is on 5-star reviews. So, and if you got it on Amazon and Audible, hey, let's write 2 reviews. That would help me out. All right, so we've got 11 people joined. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Let's see if this increases as we go forward. We got 4 thumbs up. Why don't I start with some questions that came in, and we'll see if anybody else joins. Remember, you can leave your questions in the chat here while I go through the seated questions. And again, I'll go all the way to just about 9 o'clock if the questions are there. If there are no questions, this will just end early. So I have 3 seated questions, which will take me 8 to 10 minutes to go through. So make sure you get your questions there so we have something to roll into. This questions come from the Right Mindset for Success. That's a great name. The Right Mindset for Success. Questions for Saturday. Number 1, how do you find trustworthy contractors? I've had 2 bad ones recently. Do you find them yourself or through other investors? So first off, I'm wondering if you're doing flips or buy and hold. I most often get contractor questions from flippers. The next is from out-of-state investors. So I don't see the Right Mindset on right now. But if you're on, go ahead and leave a question because I'd love to go deeper. But I'll answer it at the highest level. Contractors, right? Workers, maintenance folks, whether you're flipping, buy and hold, local, out of state, is one of those variables that you have to watch. Real estate investing is a people business. And as I wrote in the book, and I've talked endlessly on this channel, it's something I didn't appreciate when I got started. I thought the answer lived in my computer. I thought it lived in Excel. I thought I was going to figure it out. But real estate investing, whether you're buy and hold, flipping, all of that is a people business. And part of that is managing work, contractors. And there's not a magic ring or a magic set of questions. You have to network. You have to keep managing. I would say that most of my great contractors have come from referrals. So you're kind of answering your question. Some people, when they have time, they go to Home Depot and see who's busy, right? Generally, folks that are busy, have on other jobs, do good work. But for me, it was networking with other investors. It was working with property managers if it's kind of repair and fix, right? Small jobs, paint, stuff like that. But yeah, it is definitely word of mouth. The other thing I would say with contractors is just because they're good on one job doesn't mean they're going to be good on the second or third. You have to keep watching them. You never can take your eye off the ball. I've had many contractors because I've done, where are we at now? I think we're on number 58 or 59 flips since I retired. I've had a couple of contractors come out and do great work on the first job, actually come in low on price, okay on time, maybe a couple of days late, but quality was good. Lo and behold, I want to give them more work, and boy, those second or third bids come in way high. The other one is I had a relationship years ago with a contractor who was kind of my main person. He must have done, I don't even remember, 30, 40 jobs. I lost count. But it got to the point where I didn't even watch anymore. And unfortunately, he had life events happen and, went from being very reliable to, somebody I couldn't work with. So, yeah. So I guess part one of your answer is network, ask for referrals. Really look for that name that's mentioned more than once. That's always a good sign. But again, it doesn't get easier is my next point. If you're doing out of state or you're doing big flips while you're working full time, you need to actually budget for some losses from expenses. It's just kind of part of cost of doing business. All right. Number 2, how often do you do inspections or maintenance on your properties? Do you wait for an issue to arise, or do you routine maintenance to maintain the property? So in the beginning, we're talking, 16, 17 years ago, I would, physically walk through all of my houses about once a year. I don't do that anymore. I haven't walked through a house that was rented myself in over a decade, probably. That said, I don't need to. I have a property manager, which I pay lots of money to. We have a schedule. We have things that we look for. So all of my houses and apartments get a visual inspection from my property manager once a year. We certainly fix all issues as they arise. Right? If a tenant calls, we fix it. We don't. One thing I don't do is Band-Aids anymore. One experience I had with the roof years ago is I kept trying to Band-Aid the roof. And by the end of my stupidity, I paid for the roof twice. Just dumb. I don't believe in Band-Aids anymore. I'm on record that when I first started all those years ago, I would do Band-Aids on properties I bought because I was trying to reduce cash flow. It just made for larger capital expenses in the future. So I do everything right the first time now. I generally don't do as much carpet as I used to because I want to get things that last through multiple tenants. So the LVT, that stuff that looks like wood, survives much better. Tile in the bathroom and kitchens where there's water. What else was in that question? I've already forgot where I was going. Let's see. Sorry. But yeah, I don't inspect them anymore, just in case that's really the heart of your question. Do I wait for issues to arise? Again, we inspect them once a year. I don't really know if that's waiting for a surprise or not. We expect once a year. Also, we have Section 8. Some of our Section 8 tenant or rentals some of our rentals are Section 8. So they actually get inspected twice, once by my team and once by the city or the county. So there's plenty of stuff going on. Number 3, I managed to get a few rentals in the last few years. I do not have plans to scale up. Cool. Do you think it's smart to install solar panels on rentals that I plan to hold long-term? Thoughts? I don't know. I mean, so I don't have any solar panels on mine. So realize that my experience is guaranteed skewing my opinion. So flush it if you don't like it, but I don't have any solar panels. But let's talk about it. Something I have done and no longer do is I used to put in garbage disposals, and I actually put in a dishwasher or two in some of my rentals years ago, maybe 12 years ago, because I thought I was doing the right thing for the tenants. Right? Who doesn't want a garbage disposal? Who doesn't want a dishwasher, right? Well, let's just say in about 18 months, I ripped them out. I don't need extra things that break. Yes, a garbage disposal is great, but you know how many times I had a call on a garbage disposal because somebody put something in there? And yes, you can bill back the tenant and blah, blah, blah. But when I no longer add extras that can break, especially in a long-term rental, right? My stuff's affordable. Most of them haven't had a dishwasher before. So I don't add extras. Second, when I think about solar panels, and again, remember, I don't have any, so I could be totally missing the point, but my tenants pay for utilities in all my houses. So why sign up for solar, which could be something that breaks or maintains, that then lowers the cost of utilities for the tenant? Now, maybe you could tell yourself, hey, I get to take more margin, or I get to increase rents. I think that would be a tough sell. But again, maybe I'm wrong. So in the end, would I ever add solar to any of my rentals? Hell no. No chance. I could only imagine that once a year, things that would break, that would annoy me. And again, please remember, I don't own any. Maybe I'm missing something, but that's my answer. And again, I won't add a garbage disposal or dishwashers ever again. That was stupid. Okay, so those are the 3 questions I got seated. Thank you. I want to make sure I thank the person that left them because those are the only questions I got. The right mindset for success. Thanks. All right, folks, let's see what you all have here. All right, let's scroll all the way back. Good morning. Good morning. Money Maven. So is this a bubble now? Housing prices are based on interest rates at 0. Would say prices are about as high as they can go. Thoughts? So first, Money Maven. I don't think prices are anywhere close. And again, let's be very clear. Will there be cities, New York, San Francisco, Las Vegas, that I think are doomed, that are going to crash? And let's say a crash is 20% or more. Absolutely. But when I see comments like this or other YouTubers out there talking about real estate is crazy high, it's never been this high, it's doomed, it's absolutely not true. I do not believe, nationally speaking, we are going to crash. And I say that with a hell of a lot of certainty. If you've read our story, One Rental at a Time, you know that there's a metric that I swear by called the Affordability Index. In California, it's produced by the California Association of Realtors, CAR. It comes out once a month, and you can go back and look at decades of the Affordability Index. And essentially what it says in California is when affordability gets under 20%, that city or metro is in trouble because only 1 in 5 people can afford it, right? So places like San Francisco, where the affordability is 9, LA, where it's 18, those markets, and I've said them over and over and over, are in trouble. But nationally speaking, it's not even California wide. Fresno, California, affordability index as of September 1st or 2nd is 50. You're not in a bubble when half the people in the county can afford the average house. There's no chance for a bubble. In fact, affordability has variables. Yes, price is one, and that's all the YouTubers want to talk about. Price. It's not about price, or at least about price only. It is about interest rate. Interest rates today are half what they were when all these idiots on YouTube talk about the bubble in 07 or 08 or whenever they talk about it. If you have a $280,000 house in 08 and a $280,000 house in 2020, but interest rate is 6.5 or interest rate is 2.5, it's more affordable today. And I would say it's a lot more affordable today. So generally speaking, I do not believe housing is in a bubble, except for the big cities. I think housing has got a long way to go. I think housing surprisingly is up in 2021. There are so many YouTubers now talking about a crash 20, 40, 50% next year. I don't think it's mathematically possible. I would actually take the other side and say we could see a 10% pop next year. Now realize I'm being very specific about my call, meaning 2021. I'm here to tell you things could get choppy in 2022, 2023, when we start paying for the sins and all this debt and free money pumped into the system. It could get interesting, but it ain't going to get interesting in 2021. It's just, it takes 7 or 8 months to process a foreclosure, right? 4 months to NOD, 3 months after that. After that, it's just not there. We have a whole generation of folks not moving, not trading up. We have millennials that are increasingly turning 30 years old, buying their first, going from renters to owners. So no, I don't think we're in a bubble, nationally speaking. I think affordability has rarely been this good, frankly. Now, again, go look at affordability for your city, Money Maven. I don't know where you are. For all I know, you're in Vegas or San Francisco. I mean, in that case, you're in a bubble. The fact that Las Vegas has had a record price 3 months in a row is hard to believe. If you ever want to look at a city that's going to crumble, in my opinion, watch Vegas over the next 6 to 9 months. I don't get it. How can you have unemployment that's approaching 30%, but increasingly record highs in real estate? I don't get it. But again, I think it's a handful of cities that might be in trouble. So I guess Money Maven, I'm on the other side. I don't think we're in a bubble today, nationally speaking. And again, the market that I watch is more affordable today than it was in December. Not a bubble, my opinion. Good morning, everyone. Oh, home warranties. I get that question occasionally. So in the beginning, right, those first 8 houses I talk about, Theo, all the time, I bought a home warranty for probably 6 of those. And again, as with all my answers, appreciate where they're coming from. I bought 5 or 6 of them. Let's say it was 5. So I remember, I don't know, it must have been like 2.5 years into the warranty. I don't really remember. Anyways, I had a claim. I don't remember. It was 9 months. I don't remember. But I had a claim. I think it was for an AC. And I'm like, whoo, thank God I got that warranty, right? Because the AC was a roof mount. It was like $4 or $5 grand. I'm like, God damn, thank God I spent that. So they come out to do their thing, and lo and behold, it is not covered. They created some excuse. I was pissed off. I was upset. I kind of understood where they were coming from. So I let it go. 5 months later, different house, different warranty. I think this time it was the water heater. Same thing. So my experience with home warranties is atrocious. I think they are scams. I think they suck. I think they look for any reason not to pay you. So after my experience of buying 5 and getting screwed twice, I have never, ever, and never, ever will buy a home warranty again. Now, some people have had great experience and it saved them tens of thousands of dollars. Not my experience. Twice bitten, not doing it again. Again, I'm not telling you should or shouldn't. My experience with home warranty sucks, and I am not wasting that money again. My opinion. John Burns. Oh, where'd you go, John? Let's see. Oh, got some good questions coming. Where are we? Scroll up. Here we go. Buy and hold investor here. Hi, John. Me too. What criteria do you use when you decide to exit a property as an investment? I'm especially interested in decision-making during a rapidly excelling seller's market. So, John, I'm on record. I will sell anything that I think is overpriced. I look at my market every day, and you can see it change over time. So for houses, it's really, really simple. I've talked about my answer already. I go and look at the affordability index for my market. You can go back and look at it for decades. And Fresno, which is in California, obviously, is a very up and down market. So when affordability gets low, for me, I get a yellow flag at 20, and I will sell. Hear this. I will sell every single house I own if affordability gets down to 15%. Everyone will go. Today it's at 50. I'm not in a rush. There's a lot of room for prices to go up before they're unaffordable. So for houses, John, that's my answer. I don't know where you invest. I would ask you to go back and look at your market. You know, is your market really boring? Or is it up and down like California, which is where I invest? And go look at the affordability index, because it will give you a warning. I am a firm believer for single family homes that the affordability index tells you when, basically it tells you when lending gets stupid, right? If you go back and look at the history of California, you can see that lending spikes because they're looking for more and more people to buy. And then when you get down to, you're from 50% of the people to 15%, like you only have 15% of the people left that can afford it. That's a warning. So again, John, what I would do in an accelerating market is I would let history be my teacher. And for me, without question, I would sell, I don't know how many we own, probably 60 residential properties. We will sell every one if it ever got to 15 again. Remember, today's 50. So John, hopefully that answers your questions. If that's not clear, put a follow-up question below. Because that's why I do these things live, because I want to make sure I answer your question. Tamika, how are you? Do you insure an inspection and appraisal before all buy and hold purchases? Well, I got to be clear, right? So somebody on my team will inspect or walk through the property. It is not a paid for inspection. I do them occasionally now. But generally speaking, I replace everything in a buy and hold property that I'm buying, because I'm buying really rough stuff, Tamika. And again, if you guys don't know, I have a playlist on this channel for walkthroughs. They're like 1 or 2 minutes, and I show you everything from the ugly day ones. We actually just posted a day one walkthrough in the last 2 weeks. Ugly stuff. But we replace everything. So I don't get an inspection from a licensed inspector because I already know I'm going to rip out the subfloor and replace the beams and all that stuff in the bathroom because there's been decades of water damage. I already know I'm ripping out the entire kitchen, so why bother? But somebody on my team will walk through. No, I don't get appraisals. I know my numbers better than appraisers. No, I don't. I pay cash for what I'm buying because they don't qualify for lending. So no, I do not get appraised. Again, you're asking me what I do. I've done this for 20 years. I look every day. I know my numbers better than, I don't know, 98, 99% of the people in the market. So no, I do not pay for inspections. And I do not pay for appraisals. But let's answer the question differently. When I started, everything had an appraisal because it had a loan. Banks require them. So those first 5 or 6 years, Tamika, everything had an appraisal because they all had loans. And I probably had an inspection on every house. I don't remember, but I'm sure I did because that's what you did, right? You just inspected everything. So when I started, Tamika, yeah, I had an inspection and appraisal on everything, but not today. So hopefully that answers your question. King Antonio, how are you, man? I'm guessing man because you said king. So I don't know. I guess it could be a woman. I don't know. Don't do solar panels. No benefits to landlord. Yep, that's what I want. Yep, you don't want to get involved in utilities. Yeah, I agree. Hi, Joanna. What are your thoughts on signed agreements? We have a realtor who we really like that he wants us to sign promise to work with him agreement. So Joanna, I've never done one of those, right? Basically your agent wants you to work with them and them alone to get paid him for his or her efforts. Him, I guess, because you have him. You got to understand where they're coming from, which I do. I believe, Joanna, if I remember some of the questions from you and your husband, you're doing out of state, which I haven't done, which is very clear. So I see some benefits in that. I'm not a big fan though, because what happens, again, I've never done it. So my opinions really don't matter, I guess. But generally that gives them an excuse not to work as hard. If you sign this, they're going to get paid regardless, even if you find it. I don't mind paying people for effort. In fact, I reward them. If he wants my business, he's going to hustle. And I will make sure he gets taken care of, right? If he's going to find stuff before I find it, he gets paid. If you sign this agreement with him, suddenly he's not sending you, maybe he sends you once a week versus once a day. I'm not a big fan of it. I hate to say it, but I want to reward the people that bring work. One of the things, Joanna, you and your husband should be doing is networking with more people in that market. I think it was St. Louis, if I remember the questions. I could be wrong though. I don't remember. I think it was St. Louis. You need to be meeting more and more people. So today you may feel like that relationship is the most important. If you take this opportunity to meet 20 new people, that's single important. Hopefully that makes sense. So I wouldn't sign it. If I did sign it, I would make it a very tight 30 or 60 or maybe 90-day window. Because again, Joanna, one of the things you should focus on is building your network. I would not sign an agreement like that for very long. Sorry, that's just what I would do. How long did you evaluate Texas before deciding not to invest there? Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I've ever had that question. Well, we thought about Texas for quite a while. Then we probably spent $5,000 looking at Texas one summer, because if you followed my journey, you know that I believe in kicking rocks. So we took many trips one summer to Texas. We went to Dallas, Plano, Austin. We spent the most time in San Antonio. We went back to San Antonio a couple of times, as I recall. So one summer for sure. But for me, it always came back to the fact that property taxes are reset every year. And to me, that's like an HOA. I'm not a big fan of that. And it just never sat right with me. I know lots of people called me stupid. Now some of those people are losing their properties because what was once cash flow is not cash flowing because property taxes have raised so much. So we evaluated Texas quite a bit. We spent $5,000 traveling there, spending nights and weekends, like long weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was always that property tax reset that just ate at me. So that's my answer. Don't know if it's a good one, but that's my answer. What's your opinion in regards to professional pictures? Which property management system do you use to manage your properties? Any benefit in managing one or two out of my properties to understand how it works? Oh, there's a lot there. So let's answer reverse. So I'll go to the last questions first. My intention when I had a portfolio of rentals was not to be a property manager. So I have no interest in any of that. I think being a property manager or self-manager is one of the hardest, most stressful jobs out there. So no, I would never self-manage any of my stuff. I enjoy my life today and I can do these sessions with you because I have a property manager between my tenants and myself. So no, I never want to know that. These are all funny stories. So way back when, 2006 or 7, I was getting annoyed that it cost like $800 to paint a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. Because I've been on record, the hardest time to be a landlord was 06 because everybody was buying, right? So I just getting crushed with these turns in these small apartments. I'm like, why the hell does it cost $800 to paint a wall? So I remember Olivia and I just buying paint one weekend, going down there and trying to do it ourselves. Oh, how stupid that was. Just dumb. Could we paint a wall? Yes. Have we painted our own walls in our home? Yes. But will I ever do that in a rental again? No freaking way. I mean, talk about being penny wise and pound foolish. Yeah. So I don't do any of that work. What property management system do you use? Manage your properties? My property manager has a system. I think he uses, I don't know. I'll ask him and I'll put it in the notes. Let me take that question. I used to know, but I don't want to misquote. Hold on. What system? I do have access to it, so I could probably look it up, but I won't. So I don't, I'd get reports out of it. I can go to it, ask questions, all that stuff. So it's very interactive and it's all online. So that's cool. What are your thoughts in regards to professional pictures? My rentals rent so fast, I wouldn't spend the money. But you may be doing higher end stuff, right? I'm doing affordable rentals. I have my demand far exceeds supply. The stuff that I rent, you can go back and look at my playlists, are the nicest things these people were ever living. So I don't have a problem. I don't use professional pictures. But maybe you're doing Class A. Maybe you're doing fancy Airbnbs. Again, your rental may be very different than mine. In that case, yeah. I mean, professional pictures, if you were doing an Airbnb short-term rentals, probably very valuable. It's not what I do. I let the quality speak for itself. It's easy to see. Yeah, I don't have to worry about it. Hopefully that helps. Rodrigo Dale Verde. I think that was your question. Nate Schenkels. What do you think of Warren Buffett's quote, be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy as it relates to real estate? First off, Nate, anything Warren Buffett I like. Not only that, I've experienced this over and over, and it's dead on. What were people greedy for in 06, 07? Single family homes. What did we do? We sold. What happened in 2010? Everybody was afraid, and there were literally gold bricks and diamonds all over the MLS. Y'all were scared. I bought a shit ton of properties. And what happened in 2019? In my opinion, people got greedy for apartments, especially C-class apartments. The cap rates collapsed. What did we do? We sold. So that is why, Nate, I look every day. You can see greedy and fearful changing. What is happening today? Owner occupants are greedy, to use this quote, meaning they're really interested. It's why I watch the consumer. It's why we talk about the consumer every day in our daily financial news. That is why I took a shot at tweaking my model. If you followed my channel, you know that I used to buy junk, fix up, rent, and sell. I was leaving money on the table. So the last fixer I bought, we bought for 105. We put about 45 grand. We'll just round numbers here. So we're into the property 150. I could have rented it and sold to a landlord at 180. We did nothing different. We listed it before it was finished at 199 and it sold for 201 in 48 hours. That's 21 grand, man. So owner occupants, FHA buyers are greedy. So I'm selling into that wave. That's what's happening today, in my opinion. So again, huge Warren Buffett fan. His shareholder letters are still something I read every year. Churro gum, I have no idea. Don't know what that is, but I'm going to answer your question. I like to invest for cash flow and appreciation. How do I know when a market will see great appreciation? Well, first, again, let's just be clear. I don't invest for appreciation, but I know what happens. I make all of my decisions on cash flow, appreciation, mortgage pay down, tax advantage, all that stuff. Not at any of my calculations. I want to know how much money is left over to pay my bills. So with that caveat, the greatest answer is supply and demand. It's the economics 101. It's something I learned in my macroeconomics class way back when, which I have an econ and a MBA, so very business focused. Supply and demand. So what is happening today? Let's just take today as an example. We have demand exiting big cities. You've seen all the articles about New York and San Francisco. Where are they going? Well, they're going south. They're going to red states. You can fight it, but it seems to be true. Then you look at supply. Where's a lot of new supply coming? Well, unfortunately, building takes a while. So there's a whole lot of new supply coming on at the wrong time in the wrong markets. I read an article last week or the week before about a New York condo tower that's just coming online. They've had to discount properties 50%. Ouch. That hurts. There's going to be some condos that come out that just condo associations that go bust again. So the best answer is watch supply and demand. Watch where people are moving. I found an article. I've used this U-Haul stat many times in the future. What is it? Like, go to uhaul.com. And for example, type in LA to Phoenix and then do Phoenix to LA. Last time I checked, and this will be close, LA to Phoenix is like $2 grand. Phoenix to LA is like $300. That tells you something. There's a lot of people leaving LA and not a lot of people going there. There you go. So that's what I do. Theo, where'd we go? Oops. Where are we? I touch my screen and it changes. Here we go. If you have homes with a lot of equity in them, would you suggest pulling out equity in them in this market to continue to invest, provided you don't create alligator? So Theo, it depends where you are in your investing career, right? I really see it as phases. If you are still building your base foundation, your job is to get as many assets as you can that are conservatively financed, no alligators. This is what we did kind of phase 1, phase 2 in our book. So if it was me, I did a lot of cash out refis. I only had 40 grand when we started, which was all gone in the first 3 houses. The next 4 or 5 were all bought with cash out refi money. So I did. So I think it works, but you've got to be conservative. Don't buy toys. Theo, don't you dare take some of that money and buy a car or a second home. Don't increase your expenses. This is all about more and more investments. Then you'll get to a point where you have enough. Then it's about paying down debt. But don't get those two confused. So to put real examples, if this was Olivia and I in 2005, 2004, we had maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, we refied, took money out, bought more. That's how we bought property 4 through 8. Never created an alligator. Yep. Californians are socialist distancing to Nevada. Yes, they are. They will support the Las Vegas real estate market. Yeah, I talked to Brian Lebo. We're still trying to get something scheduled. I've talked to him a couple of times. And yeah, again, I think I've shared, Jeffrey, that if I was the mayor of Las Vegas, I would come out with a national campaign. Live here, work anywhere. I mean, I would blast that all over the TV. I'm a little nervous for Vegas that I think the pain will outlast the import of Californians. I hope I'm wrong, because otherwise Las Vegas is in real trouble. In addition, Jeffrey, I think what you're going to see in Vegas is single family homes do okay because of what you talk about. But Vegas has another market called condos or whatever those in the high rises. I don't see a lot of Californians buying those. That could be a bubble. As you know, there's multiple markets. So I do think single family homes, generally speaking, are going to be okay as Californians go to Vegas, Nevada. But you got to remember, they got a lot of towers. And I think a lot of those are going to go boom. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, solid reserves better than a home warranty. Yep. John Birds, thank you. You got it. So Joanna, what I would do, Joanna, is go back and look at the last 2 decades for St. Louis, because my California Associated Realtors CAR index is only from 0 to 100. So I don't know what 163 means for St. Louis. The good news is, though, go back and look at the history. What I would do is, where was St. Louis in 2000, 2005, 2010, 2015, 2020? Because what you're looking for is it just flat? Is it always between 140 and 170? I don't know. Or does it have big peaks and valleys? And again, I'm sorry, I don't know what 163 means, because for California, it's always between 0 and 100. Tamika, of course. Yep, I agree with that. Ultimate bargains, or Jeffrey. If an agent brought me a listing, I will sign a agreement for that listing. Yeah, of course. As you've heard me say, and I think I said in the answer, I will pay anybody who brings me a deal. Yes, never sign a general agreement. Yeah. Theo, sure, you can write off taxes, but you can also lose a hell of a lot of money. I don't do this for tax write-offs. I do this to have excess money so I could pay my other bills. There are people today that are losing money in Texas because property taxes are up, which means they have to keep working. I don't want to keep working. So yeah, sure, you could write them off, but I don't want to work. I'm done. What concurrent return are you aiming for, and have you had to lower your expectations recently? Yeah, so my expectations for cash on cash return always change. It's because I look at my market every day. Coming into 2020, I was probably right around 7. Again, remember, California is not like other states. Back in 2010, it was 15. 15, 1-5. 2010 was a great year. I would say today it's way hard, but it's because I look every day. Owner occupants are just driving stuff up. So I've done 2 deals during the crisis. I would say I would probably take a 6.5 today, Money Maven. So I've lowered it a little bit, but I won't go below 6.5. I believe there's always opportunities. I believe the deal of the decade is always out there. You just have to look for it. So I don't think I've ever gone below 6.5. I don't think. I may have way in the very beginning when I didn't know, but yeah. Yeah, but I changes all the time, to your point. I mean, I could be at an 8 or 9% by 2023. Depends on where the market's at. Yes, cash on cash, what I call yield, if you take the course, always changes. Well, not always. I'm always evaluating it. Oh, I could. I have actually. I did a video, it's probably been a year ago now, where I broke down my like 20 houses, my income and expenses. Yep. I could do it again. Sure. I'm not sure what you're looking for in that. But generally speaking, my houses, the ones with mortgages, the net, which I talk about, is always about 15 to 20%. Right. So if the rent's simple math, if the rent's 1,000, my net is 20%. I take home $200 of real spendable cash. Chris Webb, I do not know what other states don't. I don't research data that doesn't help me. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I do not know the answer to that, Chris. I'm sorry. Have I heard of Stessa? It is a system to manage real estate. Best question maybe. Please create a video. Yeah. So no, I haven't heard of Stessa. I'm not a big apps user. I built an Excel spreadsheet years ago. Again, accounting brain, to manage my each house, and they're just different worksheets. I do approvals and whatnot based on my property manager, but yeah, I should do a video on my apps. Sure. Was Sacramento too expensive when you started? How about today? Again, I don't know Sacramento today. I only like to talk about what I know. Quite frankly, when we started, when we did that whole drawing of cities, it was either Sacramento or Fresno. Fresno is bigger. Not many people realize that, but Fresno has a larger population than Sacramento, and is a more stable economy, in my opinion. When we looked at Fresno versus Sacramento, Sacramento was very government focused, where Fresno was food. So I chose to bet on food, not government. So Fresno is bigger. It's still bigger. And I believe that everybody still needs to eat. That's why we chose Fresno. And again, I don't know about Sacramento today. I don't spend time there. Awesome. You're welcome, Joanna. Creighton. Hey, Mike, love all your stuff. My question is, if we pull out cash now, do we wait for things to dip or buy up stuff, or just go now? Well, again, those are independent decisions. I believe you should always be looking for deals, and you pull the trigger when a deal makes sense. I am sitting on cash. I've said that many times, waiting for opportunities. But here's the deal. I'm willing to wait years if I have to. But again, I've done a couple of deals, right? So I will do deals that make sense, even in a crazy hot market. There's nothing wrong with doing a cash out refi today, getting a 3.5% 30-year loan, and just letting the money sit there for a year or 18 months, in my opinion. Some people think I'm stupid. Some people feel like they have to be fully invested all the time. No, you don't have to be fully invested. You should only do good or great deals. There are people out there that are on this channel and comments that go, hey, I've got 50 grand, 100 grand. What do? I have to do something. No, you don't have to do anything. There is nothing wrong with having cash on the sidelines waiting for your opportunity. You should not some people I talk to or communicate with, it's like their pockets are on fire, like they got to get rid of it. No, do the work. How to start one rental at a time is the best thing I've created, because it forces you to do work. No, I don't. Getting cash from a cash out refi today, if you're still building, great idea, as I answered earlier. But don't feel like you're in a rush. Only do good or great deals. And if they don't come around for a year, so be it. But keep looking. Never, ever stop looking. If you have no money, keep looking. If you have money, keep looking. Uh, Comes along once a week. I haven't seen it quite that frequently. Yep. See you on Facebook. Yep. That's for my students. About 10 minutes. For me, I don't really have a population requirement. I think at the time Fresno was 500,000 people. That was plenty big enough. Yep, you got it. All right, last question, and then I'm going to get some water for my next call. Danny, first and foremost, again, if you don't know our story, we did buy our house first. What I would tell you is, are you going to live there for a long time? Long time being 5 to 10 years. There's nothing wrong with calling yourself an investor, but buying your home first. I'm a huge believer in home ownership. Huge believer. So I don't know that there's a right or wrong answer. I don't know nearly enough about you, Danny, to give that answer, but I do want you to hear me. There is nothing wrong with owning a home. But if you're going to buy a home and be done in 2 years, probably not a wise investment given transaction costs. But there's nothing wrong with owning your home first. Oh, 21-year-old. Let's answer this one too. I have no opinion about India's real estate market. For that matter, I have no opinion about most markets. I don't know it. I don't watch it. I do know that my one rental at a time mindset, learning your market, only doing good deals, works anywhere. I have plenty of students out of the country. But yeah, I have no opinion. Supply, demand, don't know real estate law, don't know eviction law, don't know. But again, being 21 years old, the key for you is to keep your living expenses low, because you could be financially free by 30 pretty easily. So, all right, everybody, that's 50 minutes of the day. I need to get some coffee. And if you're one of my students, I'll see you in about 8 minutes in our Facebook group. Bye-bye.